final car story. Quite ironic that when this car was built, it was built to be the very best car in the world. That was the idea behind the Duesenberg. So I think to say that we've saved the best for last is really actually quite appropriate. There we go. Now I can come on. So it's great to have a Duesenberg here. Obviously Duesenberg from America, a very rare car, and very rare to have one here in England. I think this is the only one that's in the UK, but to tell us a little bit more about it, Car Stories is all about the story behind the car. It's a chat about cars. I'm going to ask Bradley to come and join me on stage for the Haynes Motor Museum. Thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for bringing the beautiful Duesenberg. Come up. I've got seats for you this time. See, then we can have a chat about cars. We can talk about all cars, but we should probably talk about Duesenberg. So let me set the scene a little bit. It was two brothers, the Duesenberg brothers, that started the company. Frederick Duesenberg, originally from Germany. He was a brilliant engineer, but not a very good businessman.
Absolutely, yeah. Their engineering was second to none.
Engineering was really second to none, but amazingly, it actually started with bicycles. I think I read that during the First World War they were building Bugatti Aero engines, and then the first car, the Model A, and they had some success in competition. I think they won Indianapolis. I think and the French Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they won Indianapolis 3 times.
3 times. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of how good the engineering skills, but great engineers, not very good businessmen. So they quickly went out of business, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They went around.
They didn't stay around for very long. Went out of business, and luckily, entrepreneur, businessman, business tycoon came to save them by a gentleman, E.L. Cord, right? He sort of came in and he's the man that said, right, let's go make the best car in the world.
Yeah, that's right. That was what he wanted with the Model J, was to make the fastest, best, and most expensive car in the world. He'd already saved Allbird at this point as well, by making some fantastic cars.
So he joined Auburn, Cord, and Duesenberg, and he said, I've got the 2 best engineers at the time, the 2 brothers. Not very good at business, but very good at engineering. And let's build the very best car in the world. People still say today this is probably one of the best cars ever built in America, and it is really impressive. Everything about it. I mean, performance, size. I don't even know where to start. Well, let's start with an engine. They put a huge engine in the car, didn't they?
Yes, 6.9 litre straight 8, which is very unusual on a straight 8 engine. They're very, very smooth, and they're a real feat of engineering at the time.
So 6.9 litre straight 8, and correct me if I'm wrong, twin overhead cam.
Yeah, twin overhead cams, which again, everyone else was still using push rods and things. 265 horsepower, which is twice as much as any other American car on today.
So there we go. So like you've got to sort of cast your eye, your imagination back, and think this is twice as powerful as any other car on the road in its day, and I think also probably one of the fastest cars on its day as well. Top speeds. I don't know what the top speed was, but the top speeds was higher than any other production car at the time.
Yeah, 120 mile an hour top speed, and then when they produced the SJ, which is the supercharged version of this, was faster again, and the SSJ, which is the short wheelbase supercharged, I think they were going about 140 miles an hour top speed.
140 miles an hour in the 1930s. Now, roads weren't like they were today. You've got to imagine what it was like in the 1930s, and of course, this is the time of the Great Depression. So the first buyers, the first clients of the Duesenberg were all the business tycoons, all the businessmen that were around in the area of New York and in the stock market. Then there was a big stock market crash, and then interest then went to the other coast, and it was the famous actors that started buying them, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the rich and famous.
It was all for the rich and famous. So this is really the best engineering feat from America in the 1930s, and the Duesenberg brothers also had other great ideas. Of course, that straight 8 twin cam engine, but one of my favorite things is I call it ABS, but it's not really anti-brake, anti-lock brakes. It's a system
Yeah, so it's basically there's a turn dial on the dash, and you tell it what weather is on. So it's got dry, wet, ice, and snow, and you just put it where it is, and it restricts the pedal movement to give you reduced braking effort, so you stop knocking the wheels out.
So how about that? Can you imagine taking a Duesenberg out when it's snowing? I mean, I think that's only for the very, very brave, but I guess it's an early version of the ABS, and also hydraulic brakes.
Yeah, well, hydraulic brakes all round. And if you compare this to the Rolls Royces, which is what it was up against at the day, they were still on cable brakes, linkages, and things, and to have hydraulic brakes is quite something. And on the front brakes in particular, they're fantastically designed. The wheel cylinder is incorporated in the kingpin. So the piston comes out the top of the kingpin and then separates the shoes, and it even has a little piece of brake pad on it as well, just to make sure it doesn't score the drum if it goes too far.
You see, so it's all about engineering. One of the other little tiny features that I love about the Duesenberg is when you pop open the engine to check the engine oil, there's a little dial, isn't there, on the block, and you can see how much oil you have. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's no dipstick as such; it's just a dial. Don't confuse it with the lever next to it, because if you turn that, all the oil goes straight out the side.
And then your dial quickly goes back down to zero, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you see, the rich and famous, they weren't going to be, using their dipstick. They could just pop open the bonnet and check the oil levels.
Yeah, I mean that shows how often these things were serviced. They were serviced every 2,500 miles, and it needed to be done easily, so their drivers could do it without having to put a car to live and things like that.
And if you look at the list of owners at the time of the Duesenberg, it really is the who's who. I mean, everyone from Clark Gable, the Mars family. We all know about Mars bars. So the Mars family had a very special closed Duesenberg. All the rich and famous, and in Europe as well. Interestingly, the King of Spain had a Duesenberg, and then during the Revolution, when he had to run away from the Revolution, it's the Duesenberg that he took. He put his family and everyone in Duesenberg because it was the fastest car. It was the car that allowed him to leave Spain as quickly as possible. So really, lots of history with all of these cars.
Oh, absolutely. And also to show just the speeds this was capable of at the time. The Duesenberg brothers drove a Model J right the way across America, and they did it in about 2.5 days.
There we go, 2.5 days to drive all the way across America. And then keep thinking back that it's 1930, so you didn't have sort of motorway Highway 1 or what is it, Highway 54, 72, whatever the one that goes across America is. It was a real adventure for the Duesenberg. So not only was it considered to be the best car in its time, it was also the most expensive.
Absolutely, yeah. So used on average Ford at the time was $450. These started chassis and engine only for $18,000. And you'll be looking about the same again, not quite the same again, sorry, to get the bodies built.
Exactly. So you've got to consider. So at the time, Duesenberg would sell you, and it's very common in the 1930s. You buy a chassis and an engine for, as we said, about $14,000. Keep in mind, so the doctor in the 1930s in America would make you $4,000 a year, to give you an idea of how much these cars were. And then you could have them bodied by your coach builder of choice. So you go to your coach builder and say, I want an open body, a closed body, and you can really have it personalized to you. It's not like today that you go buy a car and everyone has the same shape. Each person could choose which body style to have on their car. This car here, this car in particular, this is how many did they build in this body style?
Right, this body style is the Durham Tourster, and they made 8, but the 8th was broken for parts, so the 7 went onto the road, and this is number 7.
This is number 7. And I said earlier on, this is the only Duesenberg in the UK. Do you think that's correct?
No, I mean there is another Duesenberg, but it's not one of these.
Got it. So maybe there's 2 Duesenbergs in the UK, quite right. Most of them are really in America. In America, there's some real Duesenberg collectors, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Jay Leno famously, Duesenberg collector.
Jay Leno very famously is a big Duesenberg collector. We had a very famous lawyer who had won the class action lawsuit against the tobacco companies and had a huge payout. And I remember he had a collection of 700 or 800 cars, and his ambition was to be the biggest Duesenberg collector in the world. So still today, Duesenbergs are the best of the best. It's quite fitting that they were bought by the rich and famous, and today the best collectors, they're all in the big important collections. As a matter of fact, this car was owned by Otis Chandler, who was the owner of the LA Times, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and just staying on how Duesenbergs were sort of changed things in America. People have heard of the term doozy. That's come from Duesenberg.
That's come from this car. Now, when did this car join the Haynes collection, or the collection, the museum?
Yeah, so they joined in '93 when it was purchased from America and shipped back home.
Right. And so you have how many cars in your museum and your collection?
We have around about 400 cars and bikes.
400 cars. It seems like a common theme. They've got 400 cars at Jaguar. They've got 400. You have 400 cars. Everyone seems to have 400 cars these days. I don't have 400 cars. I've got 400 probably dinky small cars, but not real ones. You've got 400 real ones.
Not all on display at the same time, so it's stored.
And how does so you can't even rate cars in a collection, but would you say that Duesenbergs takes quite a place? Is this one of the stars of the collection?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a very large American collection because John Haynes was a massive fan of American cars. And this sits somewhat up with side by side with a Cord and an Allbird as well. So it really fits in for the three companies together.
Now, you were telling me the other day a little story about when this car was purchased and an unofficial record or an unofficial top speed that you were trying to reach. Can we tell everyone about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So John Haynes loved speed. He raced a lot of things as well, and he wanted to hit 100 miles an hour in his Duesenberg. And of course, he shouldn't do that on the open road. And the museum has a bit of a circuit, and the old section of circuit runs right through the middle of the Red Room. And he decided that it was at a Haynes Publishing Group party, and he started at the back of the motor museum, so he had enough run up. And he drove
inside the museum?
So out the back, and then he drove it through the middle of the Red Room, out the other side, and then up the circuit so he could hit 100 miles an hour.
And so go on, tell me. So how many attempts did he have to take before reaching 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. And do we know if he actually reached 100 miles an hour in this Duesenberg?
I believe he did, yeah.
You believe he did? That's great. Through the museum, onto the track, and up to hit 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, to give you an idea, he probably had about 2 feet either side of the car as he goes through the middle of the Red Room. He's driving past ACACs, BMW 635 CSI, Mustangs, Maseratis.
As you do after a party or during a party, I mean, what else do you do to impress your guests? Let me show you my Duesenberg, and it can do 100 miles an hour as well. So the collection, the museum has evolved. Now you also do restoration of cars, or is that something new thing that the Haynes collection museum does now?
Yeah, so we've always been restoring cars, obviously for the museum, and for outside clients as well. We've now upped the sort of scale of that from demand, and now we've got 14 technicians working on all sorts of stuff. So we have cars coming from all over the world. We're working on Denahayes, Maseratis, Mercedes, Iso, AC Cobra, Lamborghini. We sort of cover all markets really, and we're bringing them up to this sort of standard.
And I guess with all the experience you have having 400 cars to look after, you're in a good position to be able to help outside clients. So any of us could come to you for a restoration service. I mean, you do everything from full restoration just to servicing. What are the...
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have local people bringing their classes into us for general servicing and maintenance, all the way through to say the full restorations. We prep cars for hot tools. We've just been talking about the Media. We're prepping cars for that. So yeah, we get around.
Wow, that's quite impressive. And so how many cars would you have in the workshop at one time? It sounds like it's quite a big facility.
It is, yeah. We work on about 40 cars all the time.
40 cars?
Yeah, about 40. We've got about 8,500 cars on our books.
8,500 cars, so quite a lot of experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have no problem doing anything from pre-war to post-war. You span the whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do a lot.
That's impressive. And you also restore cars from your own collection as well?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we just coming to the end of our DB4 for the Motor Museum. It's taken a little while because we try and put our customers first. So it's taking longer in the background.
I see. He says all the right things. Well, I just wanted to really thank you very much for bringing one of the stars of the collection here to share with us. I think it just, to me, Duesenberg just looks so impressive and so big and purposeful.
Yeah, it's a pretty imposing thing.
Have you, one last question before you go, then I'll let you go. Have you driven the car?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, and I actually had it for my wedding.
For your wedding?
I did, yeah. so we can talk about it.
Right then, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, no, we're going to Tony. Drive the car, that must be quite sort of an emotion you sort of sitting behind. It's a big, powerful, it's almost a responsibility. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it's really, really nice. Yeah, much easier to drive than the Rolls Phantoms. Yeah, it's got a crash gearbox and all those sorts of things, but it's quite a forgiving old girl. Yeah, very nice.
Forgiving old girl. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got a little bit of a glimpse of the Haynes Motor Museum and the Duesenberg, what it's like to drive it, and its position in the classic car world. So thank you very much, and thank you, Bradley, for